Welcome back to AI and Finance. I'm Matt Reiner, and I spent this month watching something remarkable unfold. You know that moment when you're renovating your house and suddenly realize the old floor plan just doesn't work anymore? You could fight to keep everything exactly as it was, or you could embrace the chance to build something better. That's the opportunity sitting in front of wealth management right now. This month brought us three stories that reveal something extraordinary. The industry isn't being disrupted, it's being upgraded. There's a fundamental shift in how people discover expertise. An AI breakthrough that shows us intelligence isn't about replacing humans, but amplifying them. And a glimpse into how the smartest firms are already reshaping themselves for what's next. Here's what connects these stories. We're not witnessing the end of wealth management as we know it. We're seeing the birth of wealth management as it could be, more personal, more powerful, more human than ever. And today we're exploring three pathways that forward thinking firms are already walking and how we all can join them. First off, the $80 billion search industry just had its iPhone moment. For over 2 decades, we've all played the same game. You had a question, you Googled it. You clicked through 10 blue links, hoping one of them had your answer. Businesses built entire industries around this ritual. That's what search engine optimization, or SEO, was all about. But something fundamental shifted this year. People started asking ChatGPT instead of Google. They began typing questions into Perplexity rather than opening Safari. And when they did, they didn't get 10 links to wade through. They got one clear answer with sources cited in the margins. The shift has given rise to what experts are calling generative engine optimization, or GEO, the practice of getting your content mentioned by AI chatbots rather than ranked by search engines. Think about the last time you had a complex financial planning question. Did you Google 401k rollover rules and scroll through 12 different websites? Or did you ask an AI assistant and get a synthesized answer in seconds? That behavioral shift isn't theoretical anymore. Research shows that among people using AI applications like ChatGPT, that 29% are already accessing financial or investment related information, advice, or recommendations through these tools. And so, what does it all mean for wealth managers? Well, here's what keeps me up at night about this shift. Wealth management is perpetually one step behind the marketing curve. I feel that we're finally figuring out content marketing in SEO just as the rules are changing beneath our feet. But this isn't just about marketing, it's about how our future clients will discover that we exist. Consider this client journey. A 35-year-old tech executive gets a stock option windfall. 5 years ago, they would have Googled financial advisor for tech workers, or what do I do with this option windfall? And they would have found your carefully SEO optimized website on page one. Today, they're more likely to ask Claude or ChatGPT, how should I handle a large stock option payout? The AI gives them comprehensive guidance instantly. If you're not part of that conversation, if your insights, your firm's content, your expertise isn't being cited by these AI systems, you've become invisible in the moment that matters most, which creates a fascinating paradox. The old SEO playbook taught us to create content for search algorithms. Now, we need to create content that AI systems find credible enough to cite. That means creating content in citable chunks with clear authorship, structured material like original research, and securing mentions on sites that AI systems regularly reference during their training. But here's the opportunity hidden in this disruption. GEO rewards substance over gaming the systems. AI models cite sources that demonstrate genuine expertise and provide real value, not just keyword stuffed blog posts. So, what do we do with this information? Well, here's some options and ideas. First, audit your current content through an AI lens. Ask ChatGPT or Claude questions your ideal clients would ask and see, are you being cited? If not, that's your answer. Another option is also to take your content over to ChatGPT and Claude and put it in and say, what do I need to do to update this content to make it more searchable for AI tools like ChatGPT and Claude? Third, start creating citation worthy content. Think research reports, original surveys of your client base, detailed case studies with specific numbers. Find ways to make yourself quotable. Finally, get strategic about platform placement. AI systems frequently reference Wikipedia, Reddit, and LinkedIn during training. These platforms create bias that influences model responses. And bias may not be a good thing, but this is a small part and small opportunity to game the system. So the idea is build a thoughtful presence where AI systems are learning. This is how we need to think about going forward. It's not a matter of abandoning SEO entirely, but it is a matter of starting to allocate resources toward GEO strategies. And the firms that get this balance right will own the next decade of client acquisition. Moving on, there was a new launch in the world of LLMs. GPT-5 arrived, and it was like a blockbuster movie that everyone had sky high expectations for and then left the theater saying, it was pretty good, I guess. OpenAI positioned GPT-5 as the first, quote, unified AI model, promising deeper reasoning, faster responses, and the ability to create entire applications from single prompts. The benchmarks looked impressive. It ranked number one across major categories, scored 100% on advanced math problems, and achieved almost 75% on complex coding challenges. But here's what's interesting. The market reaction was surprisingly muted. OpenAI's odds of having the best AI model by year end plummeted from over 70% to under 20% on prediction markets after the announcement, which I would just give a grain of salt to, and that's 2 cents. But why did all this happen? Because I think that we've hit what I call the intelligence plateau problem. Remember when the iPhone went from 3G to 4G? That was transformational. Suddenly you could stream video on your phone. But when it went from iPhone 12 to iPhone 13, better cameras, faster processors, but nothing that changed how you used the device. And I think that that's where we are with large language models or LLMs. The leap from GP3 or GPT-3 to GPT-4 was revolutionary. GPT-4 to GPT-5 feels evolutionary. We're seeing significant improvements in writing and coding, but the gains feel incremental rather than transformational. But here's what everyone missed in the disappointment. OpenAI made a fascinating strategic decision. They simplified their model lineup, removing multiple options to focus users on their, quote, best choice. Think iPhone strategy. One clear flagship product rather than confusing customers with too many options. And so, in this world of new LLMs being launched and understanding what LLM to use, what does this mean for us in wealth management? Well, this quote plateau moment is actually crucial for wealth management firms to understand because it signals a fundamental shift in how AI development works. We are moving from the raw intelligence phase to the practical application phase. The question is no longer how smart can we make AI, but now how useful can we make it for specific tasks. The gains that firms are getting from AI aren't coming from having, quote, the smartest AI. They're coming from having AI that's been trained and deployed for their specific workflows. This is where small firms can actually compete with wirehouses. The mega firms might have exclusive deals with OpenAI, but customization and workflow integration matter more than raw model performance. All of these benchmarks and all of these studies of how well it performs doesn't matter when it comes to practical utilization. We, as users and consumers, want the practical utilization. So we have to consider what this means for our client experience. Instead of chasing the latest, greatest AI model, focus on how AI enhances your human capabilities. Studies from MIT show that while AI can provide sound financial insights when augmented by finance specific modules, they still require human oversight to explain nuances and build the rapport that underpins long term client relationships. The winners in this new phase will be firms that use AI to go deeper with clients, not replace the human connection. AI handles the analysis. You, as an advisor, handle the empathy, the complex family dynamics, the behavioral coaching that turns data into wisdom. And so, how can we capitalize on this quote intelligence plateau? First, stop chasing the newest model every month. Pick one robust AI platform and get really good at integrating that platform into your workflows. Remember, depth beats breadth in this instance. Second, focus on training your team, not upgrading your technology. 55% of successful firms are investing heavily in training and changing management initiatives for AI adoption. Your competitive advantage isn't the AI you use, it's how well your people use it. Third, identify your AI enhanced human moments. Where can AI handle the preparation so you can focus entirely on the conversation? Think AI analyzes portfolio performance. You discuss what it means for your client's daughter's college timeline. That is augmentation. Fourth, document and systematize your AI workflows. Create protocols for how your team uses AI for research, client prep, and follow up, and make excellence repeatable. And then finally, embrace the quote, good enough revolution. GPT-5 is not perfect, but it's probably good enough for 90% of your analytical tasks. Don't let perfectionism prevent you from capturing those amazing efficiency gains that are lying right in front of our eyes. The final headline, well, it's about McKinsey and Company. McKinsey and Company just had its largest workforce reduction in nearly a century of operation. The firm's headcount dropped more than 10%. Now, the headlines screamed mass layoffs, but the reality is more nuanced and, frankly, I believe, more interesting. This wasn't a single dramatic downsizing event. Instead, it was a combination of increased voluntary attrition, tougher performance standards, strategic non replacement of departing staff, and targeted reductions in support functions. But here's what makes this story compelling. McKinsey has simultaneously deployed 12,000 AI agents across its operation, with over 40% of its revenue now coming from advising on AI and related technologies. Think about that transformation. The world's most prestigious consulting firm is using AI to do more work with fewer people while positioning itself as the authority on AI strategy for other companies. Talk about eating your own food. The fundamental change, though, is that consulting firms have built their business model around charging by the hour. But as AI tools compress weeks of analysis into minutes, billable hours start to evaporate. This isn't just a McKinsey story. It's a preview of what happens when AI doesn't replace an industry. It reshapes the economic fundamentals underneath it. And here's why McKinsey's story should matter to every wealth manager. It's a case study in what happens when you adapt your business model before disruption forces you to. The parallels to wealth management are uncomfortable but important. Consulting firms charge for time and expertise. Wealth managers charge based on assets under management and advisory fees. Both models assume scarcity of time, of insight, of access to analysis. AI does not eliminate the need for wealth managers, but it does challenge some of our value propositions. AI can recognize sentiment, but it lacks the lived experience and cultural nuances that human advisors bring. Research indicates that investors perceive AI generated forecasts as less credible than those from human analysts. But here's the crucial distinction. McKinsey's challenge was that their work could often be reduced to framework and analysis. Wealth management's core value proposition, behavioral coaching, relationship management, complex family dynamics, remains fundamentally human. The threat isn't that AI will replace wealth managers. The threat is that AI will replace wealth managers who only provide what AI can provide. Consider the client who calls asking about their portfolio performance, account balance, or tax loss harvesting opportunities. AI can handle those interactions perfectly. But consider the client calling because their spouse just passed away, or they are navigating a complex divorce, or they're trying to teach their adult children about money. That's where human wisdom becomes irreplaceable. Studies show that while AI operates without personal biases, its deployment by financial firms may introduce conflicts of interest, such as favoring proprietary investment products, which actually creates an opportunity for independent advisors who can position themselves as the unbiased human alternative to AI driven advice. So, what does McKinsey's transformation provide as a roadmap for wealth management adaptation? Well, first, audit your service offerings through an AI lens. Which of your current tasks could be automated by or handled by AI? Don't resist this and embrace it. Free up your time for higher value activities. Second, redefine value proposition around what AI cannot do. Focus on behavioral coaching, complex life transition, family dynamics, long term relationship management. Make your humanity your competitive advantage. Third, consider hybrid pricing models. Maybe you charge lower fees for AI enhanced portfolio management, but premium fees for life planning, behavioral coaching, and complex family financial strategy. Fourth, I think this goes for everybody and all the time across the spectrum. Invest in AI training for your team. Use AI to enhance your preparation so you can go deeper in client conversation. And finally, start having that quote AI conversation with your clients proactively. Explain to them how you're using AI to enhance your service, why human oversight remains crucial, and what AI cannot replace about your relationship. Get in front of it so that your families and clients understand why you're using it and get comfortable with it so that you then can use it internally to better serve more clients going forward. And so this month we had three stories and we had one thread. The search migration shows us that attention is moving. GPT-5's reception reminds us that intelligence alone isn't enough. McKinsey's transformation proves that adaptation beats resistance. For wealth managers, this isn't about choosing between human and artificial intelligence. It's about using artificial intelligence to amplify human wisdom. The firms that thrive in the next decade won't be those with the smartest AI or the most traditional approaches. The firms that thrive in the next decade won't be those with the smartest AI or the most traditional approaches. They will be the ones that figure out how to use AI to enable their humans to go deeper with the clients they serve. Until next month, stay curious, stay adaptive, and keep on exploring. In a world of artificial intelligence, authentic relationships become your greatest differentiator.